blackness, as is again negative. Go on, brother.
This is Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word,
if they speak not according to this word, go on.
It is because there is no light in them.
Because there is no light in them, and if there's no light, there is darkness. But we're a people of light. We're a people of life in itself. So again, when you're calling, and this is why people are in a situation they're in, because you got to be careful what you call yourself, man. That's another thing that I don't understand. Whatever you call yourself, that's what you're going to become. So if I'm walking around and I'm black and I'm proud and I'm black, I'm going to take on that vibration of being black.
Yeah, there's a spirit, it's spiritual.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like the word gay. The word gay is now meant to mean like homosexual.
Yeah,
back in the day, it was gay.
Happy, yeah.
You know what I mean? And our people are conditioned to think that. So you need to be careful how you refer to yourself. If you say you're an Israelite, you're trying to say you have a history. You understand? But now, this is give me Song of Solomon song 5 and 11.
This is Songs of Solomon 5.
And then what? Salakia, man, Salakia. And could I just add on, could you just like tell the brother what you was about to say? Because what you was about to say was heavy, because it's a psychological thing.
Right. Yeah, because he's so-called white man. You're not going to see the word white man in it. The way you're going to see is the serpent, the wicked, the proud, or Esau, the Edomites. That's who they are. Ites, the Edomites, the Moabites, Hamites, Israelites. That's what we are. We descend from a man called Yashala or Jacob.
Yeah.
A so-called black man by the name of Jacob. That's what we call the Israelites. And our very identity has been taken from us, man. They whipped us, they took it all out of us, our language, they took everything. They called us African Americans, Negroes, you know? It's very important. They know who we are. They knew who we were before we knew who we were, man. In slavery, you know what I mean? So this is Solomon's song, chapter 5, verse 11. Read it. Yeah.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 11. His head is as most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven.
That's a description of us. But so you think that the Bible is a white people's book? No, it was our book. And they took our book. They took our book and they lied about our book. And the Bible is full up of mysteries. When you first get hold of the Bible, you're not going to understand it until you have somebody to break it down to you. Now listen, and we've been looking to the devil, the serpent, to tell us the truth of the Bible.
Right.
So we've been thinking, oh yeah, that's white man's book. No, it's the opposite. It was our book, and they've been lying about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is what I'm trying to say. We gotta know the truth. The truth is coming from us, the prophets. You understand? Esau, the serpent. Someone get me that Esau precept.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and 48. And they laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Yeah. So Esau, when he came out of the caves and started taking down certain strongholds in Europe, like Constantinople, Spain, France, all these places, they saw nothing but our artwork. For 1,000 years worth of artwork they saw. So what do you think they are? Statues of broad noses, thick lips. So what they do, they didn't have nothing to show for themselves. So they put themselves where we were. You understand? And they told the world that, you know, God is white, a naked white man flying in the sky touching Adam, another naked, that whole homo, you know what I mean? Profaning sacred things, man. He's the wicked, the deceiver. So that's how deep it is. He's been working so hard to keep this hidden from global knowledge because he's afraid of something. Esau's very much afraid.
So why would he give you a book? Not even if you're thinking, why would they let you have that book then? Why would they have if they knew?
Yeah, because that's the best way to hide the truth. Put it right up on the nose.
You can shake, don't read it.
That's what Esau does. That's what the white man does. He'll tell you something not good for you and still give it to you. Because you know people are dumb. You'll still take it. That's how the white man is.
They say if you want to hide it from a black man, put it in the book. That's true.
And plus, he's been pouring drugs into our communities. Abortion clinics.
Abortion.
He's been destroying us. So he's thinking, nah, there's no way these people are gonna wake up to this.
Right.
But little did he know that the Most High, he can't the so-called white man can't get rid of prophecy. Go on.
This is Matthew 24:35. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away.
Right, so the Most High is everything. But now this is Deuteronomy, right, 33 verse 29, right? Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee. And thou shalt tread upon their high places, so our enemies are found to be liars unto us, bro.
And even in Salaki, brother, and even when you look at the term white is also the opposite of what the term black represents. Now the color white, it talks about that in the scriptures. If you can, brother, get Daniel 12.
Let me just get something real quick,
Okay.
and then I'll give it back to you. This is
Yeah, I just want to just elaborate a little bit, bro. Right? Because colors have a vibration, like I was talking about earlier before, and the so-called white man, they didn't start calling themselves white until 1681. Okay, which the brother Malcolm, brought that out. Shalom to the brother, so he brought it out. So when you look at the term white, there's positive vibrations under that term white,
right.
and that was to basically keep themselves in a more of a superior kind of angelical sense. But
Purity.
in reality, when you're dealing with the vibration of colors, as the scripture says that we are, right? We're actually the real white people, because we're the people of righteousness and light.
Pure.
They're the real black people.
They're the black people.
Exactly.
Look at that. Check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, come.
Right.
Yeah, you got your brother.
This is Baruch chapter 2, verse 29. If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them.
Yeah.
Right? For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. We're very stiff-necked. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am Yahweh, their God. So we're going to come back to who we once were. In the land of we were captivated here. In America, in Jamaica, in the land of their captivities, we're going to remember that we're not Jamaican. We're not Caribbeans and African Americans. And there's many nations of people calling themselves Africans. Somalians, you got even so-called white people calling themselves Africans.
It's a generic term.
So it's like it's a generic term. But who are we? Bantu. Who are we collectively? Who are we? That's the $1 million question.
That's the big question, isn't it?
That's the $1 million question. Who are we? If we're the same people, we got the same genealogy, which means we got the same history.
You're saying it's Hebrew Israelite. That's what you're saying.
We're trying to say we're the people of God, man. We're the people of the Most High. That's who we are. And Esau, the wicked, is very afraid of us and been trying very hard to keep this knowledge hidden from us. Because he knows that once we learn this, he has no more power over us.
That's it, brother. Yep.
Over us, our children. He wants to dictate to us what we're learning.
Yep.
What we're seeing, what we're watching, what we're processing within ourselves. But once the Most High has raised us up, he's done.
It's finished.
He's done.
You're definitely right about as far as I say revelation leads to revolution, isn't it?
The revealing.
Yeah, so from you get something revealed to you, then a revolution should happen, isn't it?
Right.
But and of course that happens spiritually and then physically. So we're gonna have to bust a gun one time, isn't it?
But that time's gonna come when Yahweh Shai comes, when our Messiah. That's one thing we've been.
That's where we don't agree.
Well, with that, you've been saying you don't agree with the Israelite, but now you're starting to see it.
I don't believe. I agree with a lot of the aspects, but I don't agree with the fact that you're saying that.
That's Yahshua
will come down and help us.
Listen,
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Bro, trust me. When I first came to the truth, I was teaching this truth, right?
Yeah.
But I was a little bit shady on the chariots, so I didn't really teach that as much because it took a while for me to accept that the Lord's gonna come with chariots, with the white man UFOs.
No disrespect. Do you know how far-fetched that sounds to some people?
Exactly.
That's beautiful, brother.
It sounds far-fetched.
I know, because I was just like that.
Like, you know what
Trust me. I was like, how can I make somebody believe that if battle.
All right,
You know what I mean?
You're being, yeah, okay.
So I didn't really teach that part of the knowledge at first. I taught that we the Israelites got to repent and everything out the kingdom. But I didn't teach the so-called UFOs being the chariots of God yet. I felt far-fetched with that too. So but trust me, we've seen them. And he's not laughing. He's like,
I'm not laughing.
We've seen them.
If that's true, that's true.
Oh, look, let me break it down.
Go.
Right? But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves, meaning call back to our mind, and shall know that I am Yahweh their God, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. So the Lord has given us a spirit to hear this, man, and to receive it. Right?
Yeah.
And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, because our people are wicked towards one another.
Yeah,
They're
disgusting.
wicked as hell towards one another.
It's disgusting.
So we're gonna start putting that away and learn that the Most High has good thoughts towards us as a people. He loves us very much. I know it doesn't look like it, but the Most High has been punishing us according to our wickedness. And now those of us that believe, we're gonna start saying, you know what? I'm trying to get saved, man. I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of this wickedness, man. I'm tired of this pollution. I'm trying to make it into what the prophecy said, that there's going to be a kingdom, a restoration for us as a nation, where we're going to be no more divided. You know how the scripture says, when a house is divided against itself, how can it stand? We're divided. How can we stand? But the scriptures, the Bible says, one day we will come together and be all righteous. That's something I'll give my life for, man. I would love to see my people restored in this earth, sovereign over all nations. And you know what too? I would love for that. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, cool.
You would love that too.
That's what I'm here. That's what I'm here
for. But the Bible speaks of it.
And
this is the intent of God Himself.
It's a lot, your brother, as well, because before our people get saved, they have to put the right uniform. That means you got to do it being calling yourself black. You got to do it calling yourself African. All of these terms, they got to go, because even the term Africa goes back to another so-called white man. The term Africa goes back to a Roman general by the name of Neo-Scyphicus Africanus. And you got our people in America calling themselves American, which America goes back to Italian navigator, Americo Vespucci. And the word America
bitter
actually means bitter.
Yeah.
So when you're calling yourself African American, I'm just using,
that's the the African thing is all debatable.
That's all BS, man. It's all BS.
No, the African thing is debatable, isn't it? Some people say that Africa was.
Nah, but what I'm saying, bro, like what he was going into earlier before, there's different nations in Africa. There's different nations. You have the Hamites there, and you also have the Hebrews that are there. But if I can, just real quick, I want to read this real quick, because I want to also make another point.
Yeah.
On the term white, your Daniel's 12.
Which verse? From one?
You know, it says that the righteous shall be made triumph.
This is very important that you learn, you understand that. You won't receive it all at first.
In verse 3, yeah.
Just hear it, man.
Come.
Right, this is Daniel chapter 12, verse 3. Actually, let me start from 2, it's better. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to everlasting...
No, not that. You know where it says they shall be made white.
They shall shine as the brightness.
Yeah, get that, bro.
Yeah, I'm just reading 2 into it.
Okay.
So, and some shall... I'll go from verse 3. And they shall be wise, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament.
So check this out. It says, they that be wise shall shine as the bright of the firmament. Go on.
And they that turn many to righteousness, as the stars forever and ever.
Okay, go on.
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal this book, even to the time of the end.
Okay.
And many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Yeah, go on.
Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, and there stood other two, one on this side.
Is it going into what I'm going into? Is it the term white should be there? It says many shall be made white.
Oh, that's in Revelations, bro. That's in Revelations.
That's in Revelation.
Revelation 18 or 20.
The 19 of it.
It's like 11 times.
It's in 19.
Yeah,
it's in 19. Okay. Revelations 19 and 7.
That's the one right there.
That's in Daniel's son.
No, it's Revelations.
No, the wicked shall do wickedly. That's the one I wanted.
Oh.
But you can get that. You can get that too,
Because
because
it says many turn clean and white.
no, you can get that as well. But there's one in Daniel's 12 where it says he just quoted it, because I was thinking about that, but I couldn't really cover it in my head. That's the one I want. But you can get that as well, because that's a good precept too. But yeah, I want you to get this stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is
Daniel 12 and 10. Many shall be purified and
That's the
made
one.
white
Right.
and tread.
So read it slowly, so he can understand what I'm saying. Go on, bro.
Daniel 12 and 10.
Yeah.
Many shall be purified and made
So
white.
it says, many shall be purified and made white,
I tell you what's happening to you.
symbolizing the color, symbolizing purity.
Made
black
white.
symbolizing
Made
filth.
white. That's esoteric meaning, isn't it? Made white. That's esoteric.
Yeah,
That's
made
esoteric.
white simply means to be made pure.
Yeah.
Because Isaiah even make, I'll get into that later on, but let's finish this, brother.
And many shall be purified and made white and tried.
and tried. Go on.
But the wicked shall do wickedly,
Yeah.
and none of the wicked shall understand.
Yeah, so the righteous will be considered white. In other words, in terms of the vibration of the color, which is also symbolic, which means purity. And the word, what is it? The word white also means laban, which is quite similar to the word tahar, which means pure. All right, so when you become a part of this truth and you become awakened again into this knowledge and this understanding, you become pure. In other words, representing the color white. You become white, representing pure. That's how I should say.
Taking it in.
Revelations 19 and 7, right?
Yeah.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come,
Right.
and his wife hath made herself ready, right? And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen,
Right.
clean and white.
Clean and white. You see what I'm saying? Go on, brother.
For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
Right, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. So let's go back to Esau now. Now these Edomites, they called themselves white to get away from who they really are.
Yeah,
Because
fugitives.
because right, according to Genesis 4,
Genesis.
Cain, right? Cain was a fugitive running from judgment. So what Esau has been doing all of this time, not only has he been deceiving our people to not associate with this doctrine, going back to what the brother was saying, because if we do associate with this doctrine, that means that this place is done. And at the same time, Esau tried very well hard to get away with the term red, because ultimately their real nationality is that of the Edomites. And the word Edom, which means red, which the color red also symbolizes sin. So the reason why they call themselves white, to disassociate from calling themselves the people of sin.
Yeah.
That's why you have all of these terms, black, white. And when you read the scriptures, there's no ancient people called the ancient black people.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't exist.
The ancient white people.
Or the ancient white people. That's bullshit.
Because Esau had many different identities he called himself, like Greeks, Caucasians, Romans, but they were originally the Edomites.
Huh.
But get that scripture.
Zechariah 5. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes
Right?
and looked, and behold, a flying roll.
So he looked up and saw a flying roll. Right?
And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, and I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over all the face of the earth.
So you hear that? So it said, this is the curse that goeth over the face of the whole earth. Because it's going to be an international deliverance, where the elect, those that believe among our people scattered to the four corners, are going to be beamed up, saved from nuclear fire, which will be the end of this time, the end of Esau's wicked reign on this earth.
I understand what you're saying. His reign is going to done, but it's going to be nature that's going to done his reign.
How do you say that?
You know what I mean? Like, even in your pestilence, like COVID-19, them kind of diseases, they're the Black Death, things like that, and that's how we will be saved. So it's going to be nature that's going to deal with him, because he's against nature, isn't he? Yeah. He's a destroyer of that. So what happened is nature will deal with him. That's what I see.
Yeah, but that's how the Most High deals. He puts a spirit upon people to fulfill His will. So you see this causing this Third World War. That's happening. The Most High is putting a spirit on the nations, putting it within their minds and spirits to do these things, to conjure up for war, to fulfill what is written within this book. Now this is Isaiah. This is Isaiah 13, verse 1. Let's start from verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The Most High has got spirits that He's going to put on people to gather up for this Third World War, right? Have the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. So it's the Most High that's mustering the spirits of the nations to gather for this Third World War. So it says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. What has that destructive capability to destroy everything that's on land? You're talking about buildings,
nuclear
trees,
weapons,
grass, concrete.
But you are
Everything will get wiped out. That's nuclear technology.
But so is Mother Nature. No, Mother Nature can do exactly the same thing.
How's Mother Nature gonna wipe out everything?
What, an earthquake can't wipe out everything?
Do you mean to everything get melted?
Oh no.
Nuclear fire. You know what I'm saying? So it says, howl ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. When you say destruction, we're destruction. Because Esau has structured everything. But it's going to be destruction, destroyed. That said, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt for fire, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, and they shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Listen, behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Right? This is Zechariah. This is Zechariah. This is Zechariah 12. Verse 14, verse 12, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, which is us. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. So while they stand upon their feet, the whole thing get blazed. See? And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Someone speak.
Yeah, so and also when you read the prophecy in the Old Testament as well, in the book of Jeremiah 16 and 14, it talks about, this is it right here, Jeremiah 16 and 14, it talks about how the Lord is going to deliver us from the land of the north and also the lands which we were scattered in as well. So how would that be done? That would have to be done by divine intervention by way of the chariots of the Lord, so to speak. That's the same way how we were delivered out of ancient Egypt. And it's kind of far-fetched because again, you gotta, as we all have to acknowledge, we've lost that knowledge. So as the Apostle Paul said, I don't mean to go off, but as the Apostle Paul said that there shall be a falling away first. What shall fall away first? Meaning we're gonna fall into people and also lose the knowledge of the spiritual power of our Creator.
That's like saying if man believes in magic, man don't believe in that's like it's a magic thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the reason why you can't comprehend it because for so long time we've all been taught under the doctrine of Esau, and Esau is a very carnal man. So we as a people, we're naturally spiritual people. You understand? We saw miracles and all of that stuff during the time of Moses. And we're getting back to that all over again. But I just want to just read this and show you something.
Right, this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall be no more said that Yahweh liveth that brought up the children of Israel.
Yeah, so that's not going to be remembered, the deliverance of us in Egypt. Because that's a great scenario that took place back then.
2 minutes
but
left.
This scenario, our salvation, which is going to come in these times, is going to far surpass more. It's going to be more miraculous than the one at the first. The Egyptian salvation. Go on.
Right, it says, brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but that Yahweh liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the lands of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into the land that I gave unto their fathers.
Exactly, because it was the Lord that scattered us. It was him. It wasn't really these nations. Now you could say it was these nations, but you got to go up a little bit. Who put the spirit on these nations to conquer us in the first place and then to scatter us as well? It was the Heavenly Father. So by the Heavenly Father, it's going to be the same thing by him gathering us from all of the lands which we were scattered abroad in. Go on, let's read some more on that.
Okay, Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh,
Right.
and they shall fish them. And after I will send many hunters.
Yeah, so we're fishing right now. You have a lot of men, as you've seen the Israelites, but there's different groups of Israelites, as we spoke about only before, and they believe what they believe in. But what we believe is the whole reality of what's going on, and this truth in totality. This is why when you came up the other week, you had an issue with accepting certain Edomites, not Edomites, but our people looking like so-called white people, because what we do with reality. We're not going to be telling you things that's not real. Our people are scattered abroad among so-called white people. Even in England, you got a lot of our people that get it in with white women. So let's just say you have a white woman, which it happens a lot of the times anyway. You have a child, and the child looks most likely. Hear what I'm saying though? You have a child, but it looks like a white. It looks just like the mom, straight up like the mom. Doesn't even have your genes in it. Okay, your what is it? Your
features,
right.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. So you got kids like that are like that. I've seen one so-called black guy with a Chinese woman, and the kids look straight up Chinese. You wouldn't even know that father was so-called black man.
I think you might have another
If you
5
saw
more
the
minutes
kids
left.
separate. So you got that situation. You got our people that look like so-called white people that are actually our people. That's just the reality. Gentiles.
Okay,
But let's go back to this, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, brother.
Let's get the shifters on the chariots now.
Shall I continue Jeremiah? Or do you want to the chariots?
Yeah, get some more chariots.
Zechariah 5.
Yeah, you can get that.
Zechariah 5. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe.
Come on.
And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe.
Right, I see a flying robe, because during that time there was no airplanes, there was no helicopters flying around at that time, so something else had to been flying during that time, and it was definitely a chariot. It was what you call, that's what people call today, UFOs or UEPs. I think it's UEPs or UIPs.
Yeah.
Go on, bro. You got some more now.
This is Isaiah 66 verse 15.
On the point, you're going.
Isaiah chapter 66 verse 15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind,
Yeah.
to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Because what it is with our people have been taught under Esau, and Esau's a very, like I was explaining to the brother, right? Esau's a very carnal man. So when you're taught under a carnal man, of course you're not going to believe in miracles and spiritual, things happen. You're not going to believe in that because we were taught under him. But we as a people, we already, back thousands of years ago, our forefathers saw the miracles of Moses and saw the miracles of other things that occurred during that time. And we still have it in us to be spiritual minded, to be aware of miracles. But we've been indoctrinated under them so bad that even when you tell our people about the chariots, it's like, I can't believe that, which is understandable because who was we taught under? The same devil. Okay?
And that's spiritual, because the brother last week, he said the same thing about the chariots.
Yeah.
He said that sounds so far-fetched.
Yeah.
Same thing again,
Same thing. Yeah. So that's just the thing. So I mean, if he's a part of the elect, he'll learn of this thing and gravitate to it later on. But the reason why I came at him like that because of the other week, he came with this other guy, and they was just coming in the spirit of debating, like it was just a joke. But he's learned. You can see that he's learned something today. So
They shall be amazed at his greatness.
of his salvation. That's another one. So how are they going to be amazed of our salvation?
Because you gotta be a madman. Because we don't think that we're crazy. If you see your brothers here, we think that we're sane, man.
But we are sane, brother.
We are sane.
I get to say, brother.
But I'm saying, if you was to take yourself out your body
Yeah.
and be of the world and look at yourself,
Come on,
you feel like this thing is crazy, man. You know what I mean? So we don't think that we're crazy because we're not crazy. But people of the world, if we was to stand boldly and say, our Messiah's coming back with the chariots to destroy all you people, they're gonna think that this guy needs to straight jacket or something.
He needs to be given to the white jackets.
Yeah. Muzzle over his face, man. You know what I'm saying?
Tied up and shit.
Yeah. Go on.
This is Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8. For by grace ye are saved through faith, and that it is not of yourselves, but it is the gift of the Most High.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
See that? See?
Like that.
That's beautiful. It's a gift, man. You know what I'm saying? And what's going to save us is faith, man. having that, when I spoke that scripture about the child, the little children, you have to be like little children to make it to the kingdom. And child has faith, man. You see, when you're born into this world, you're like a child. You believe anything. You believe in Santa Claus. You believe that when you lose your teeth, you put it under the
I used
pillow,
to do that.
and you think that the tooth fairy is gonna put money. Because my dad used to do that. When I lose my teeth, I put it under the pillow, I wake up here, and it'd be like £5 or £1 under the pillow. And I used to be like, yeah, I can't wait for my teeth to fall out. So I keep more money. You know what I mean? So when you're a child, you believe in anything. Santa Claus, you believe in you have a childlike faith, man. You play with action super toy heroes, you know, the little action figures, man. You know what I mean? Excuse me.
Even that Santa
Do you
Claus,
understand?
too.
So it's only when you start growing up, man, and you start to go to school, you learn science and maths, you go down a level, man. Your mind doesn't go to the top floor like how we used to when you was a child. You know, your mind can't elevate and go far and beyond. Now that you're growing up and you go into Esau's world, your mind has limitations.
Yes.
Esau limits your belief. He limits your faith. It says, oh, that's bullshit. That don't happen. That don't exist. You know what I'm saying? And it conditions you into a very slave box way of thinking.
Yeah.
But as you grow older, you lose faith. You lose faith, man. So you have to be converted and come out of the spirit of this world and come back onto this truth, which allows your mind to be limitless.
And that's very
You
true.
do all things in Yahweh Shai. You can believe. You know what I mean?
And that's very true. You just said that because it's basically what Esau does. Esau gives you all kind of nonsense as they show you in school, and all of that stuff. It just dwindles your faith, because if you have high-powered faith, you're going to believe that you can take this man down, and quite frankly, you probably will if most people have the same amount of faith. So to keep people in a slave-minded condition, that would then continue. That would then basically they would get a sense of feeling, you know, at peace. But if you got all these people walking around with above the limit kind of amount of faith, these devils, they're going to be worrying about, man, I wonder if people are going to take us over, because they're already paranoid of that already. You know, so that's how that's another technique on how you enslave somebody, is by taking away their faith from them.
Yeah. Bishop?
Go on, brother.
Matthew 21 and 21 says, Yahushua answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if you have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed and be thou cast unto the sea, it shall be done. That reminds me of when Neo was building up he was coming to understand about the supernatural, and he went to the oracle and he saw in the room people, little kids playing with spoons and bending spoons, and he tried to do it, and he couldn't do it. And the oracle said to him, there is no spoon, there is no spoon.
Wow, that's deep, that's deep.
And then he, in his mind, he got it in his mind, and he started to do it. And then throughout, when he was coming into himself, he understood that he has to say, it kept coming to him, there is no spoon, there is no spoon. So in other words, to believe something, you got to cast out reality and take on faith.
And that's another thing as well. I mean, and you know, you could deal with reality, but also know and understand that there's within reality, because you know, like the saying goes, reality is stranger than fiction. Anything is capable of happening in the real world. So in the real world, the thing that is considered impossible is possible. As the scripture says, there's nothing impossible with the Most High. Oh yeah, brother, get this. Yeah.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 5 verse 10.
You still on?
He that believeth on the Son of the Most High hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not on the Most High hath made him a liar.
Yes, I mean, when you become a Hebrew Israelite, it's not about just learning the. I mean, you look good. Of course, you're gonna learn the basics and all of that stuff. But when you really dig deep, you're supposed to believe